Welcome back. You're still watching Daybreak on this 19th day of August 2025, and it's time for us to have a conversation here in studio about the latest in the world of politics, but of course what transpired yesterday with the parliamentary group meeting of UDA-ODM. We'll be getting details of what exactly transpired there. In studio I have Jeffrey Wandeto, Member of Parliament for Tetu constituency. Good morning, Mheshimiwa.
Good morning, Sam. Good morning to our viewers.
Dr. Peter Masara is the Member of Parliament for Suna West constituency. Good morning.
Good morning, Sam, and to our viewers and the people of Suna West and Migori. Good morning.
Karibu sana. And of course, we're waiting for the arrival of Senator Hilary Sigei from Bomet and Robert Mboi from Kathiani. He's also the Deputy Minority Leader in the National Assembly. Now, this morning, the papers on the Standard worst ever speakers. President Ruto has once again broken his silence to lash out at Parliament, where the leadership of Moses Wetangula and Amason Kingi is coming under sharp scrutiny. The two speakers stand accused of abandoning impartiality, presiding over corruption, tainted chambers, and surrendering the House to the highest bidder. Far from defending the people they represent, critics say Wetangula and Kingi are fast cementing their place among the most underwhelming speakers in Kenya's history. On the front page of the Daily Nation, the main story is UDA-Raila MPs meeting fallout, a plenary session to review the party's 10-point pact turned stormy. The inaugural joint meeting of ruling coalition and ODM MPs was marred by controversy after President Ruto and ODM leader Raila Odinga put the lawmakers on the defensive. The president, for the third time, publicly condemned the bribery in Parliament, vowing to have corrupt MPs arrested, while Raila insisted legislators shouldn't run CDF Kitty with a poisoned environment. The forum ended prematurely. This is some of the stories that are making headlines this morning, and we'll get to this conversation shortly from now. First, I want us to talk about the ongoing conversation about the implementation of the ODM or UDA-ODM deal that was signed in March 2025. There has been a team formed to see to it that the rollout is as smooth as should be expected. And obviously, we'll be waiting to see the actions that are taken. We saw a memorandum, or rather, a joint communique from the PG yesterday recommitting to the implementation. Already we are seeing a team to see how compensation of protest victims will be conducted. Let's begin there. And Mheshimiwa Dr. Masara, let me begin with you, and also to acknowledge the arrival of Robert Mboi from Kathiani constituency. Good morning, Mheshimiwa.
Morning, Sam. Morning, viewers.
We were starting to get worried, but now you're here. Dr. Masara, talk to us about how hopeful the UDA-ODM MPs are with the implementation of the MOU as it was signed in March, and particularly the question of compensation that we are told now there's a committee. Can there be compensation without justice?
Thank you so much. First, I want to say that compensation is the beginning of everything. At least the government has realized that there's something went wrong. Initially, they were talking that those demonstrators were criminals. There were people who are not supposed to go on the street. But now, by forming a committee to look into the issues of those who are affected, that is a step for us, especially me and my people. Two, on the MOU between ODA and ODM, Kenya Kwanza and ODM, I'm not a pessimistic. I'm an optimistic person. One, the MOU brought this country back because the country was almost going down the drain. Therefore, from where I sit, as an elected representative...
What do you mean the country was going to the drain?
When the agencies were demonstrating, they attacked Supreme Court, they attacked Parliament, they were heading to the State House. They are leaderless, they are tribeless, they are partyless. My friend, never in this history, so many bad things happened before, but none reached the stage of what the agencies did in 2024. Brother, it is better to have a very bad government than to have none. It is better to have a very bad government than to have none. Two, what were the options by then? What were the options? Either we were giving this country to those Gen Zs who did not have a leader, who did not have a hand game, or we decided to swallow our pride and sell the country. And the worst part of it, brother, assuming Raila did not agree to join hands with President William Ruto to stabilize the country, ask yourself questions. What will have happened? The answer, nobody knows, because the leader of those demonstrators was unknown. They were not giving statement on their next course of action. So to me, I believe we still have time.
So that's fine. That's a political question that you're talking about. But you're saying that everything begins with compensation. So who will you be compensating?
One, the committee will look into, if you look at the report of Macau and Zani, the Azimio party took data of all majority of those who are affected. Those who reported to the police station, those who were buried, those who were killed, those who were injured, who were taken to the hospital. There was a secretariat which was involved in collecting this data.
Which year was this? Which protests?
From 2017. From 2017 to 2022 and up to 2020. Even the agencies.
So the Azimio data is what will be used?
No, that is the beginning. The government also have their data. The Human Rights Commission have their data. The civil society, they have their data. There will be verification. Actually, I'm not qualified to comment on that because, one, how they are going to operate, I'll give my views because they'll collect views, including you. You'll be invited to give your views on the best way forward.
Okay,
but let me...
Sorry, Dr. Masara. Why do we need to collect views, yet the Kenya National Commission on Human Rights has been on record that in 2024, for instance, at least 60 people were killed. The government continues to deny. In the protest of this year, the same commission has come out and given the numbers. The government continues to understate them. So why do you need a Macau Mutua commission to do what the KNCHR has already advised on?
Brother, we are saying we are opening a new chapter. A chapter where all Kenyans are important. People from all walks of life, from different political background and beliefs can come together for the sake of the country to move forward. The Kenya Human Rights Commission will be invited. Everybody, according to my take, everybody who has any view, any idea on how best this thing can be done.
Vetted by who?
By the commission.
What commission?
Which was formed. They'll give views to the commission on how best these people can be, the NADCO report can be implemented.
A Macau Mutua commission to listen to constitutional commissions on what should be done?
No. They'll take part, the report of Human Rights Commission will be part of their report because the Human Rights Commission is independent. They do...
And constitutional.
And constitutional. Then their report must be consumed by somebody. Now, we have created a body which can consume their report.
Okay. Let's listen to what the president said in regards to implementation of this MOU of the two parties.
The 10-point agenda that we have signed buttresses what is actually in our manifestos. The NADCO report, we all know what it is supposed to achieve. And if we stand together, we can achieve all the legislation that is recommended by the NADCO report. Parliament has what it takes, to do this. For Kenya, we can do it. And I want to persuade this PG to work with us and for all of us to be committed to this exercise.
All right, and that's what the president says in terms of implementation of those two documents, the MOU and the NADCO. Senator Hilary Sigei, good morning.
Good morning, Sam.
Karibu sana to the show.
Thank you very much, and my apologies for coming in a bit late.
All right, you're talking about the situation with the implementation of the agreements of the two parties. Mheshimiwa Wandeto, talk to us about your thoughts, particularly on that question of compensation, because Dr. Masara says here that we have to start a new chapter. But doesn't a new chapter begin with acknowledging that atrocities have been committed, and of course finding out the responsibility, justice, then compensation? Or you can have state agencies killing protesters, then you compensate their families? How does that work?
Sam, I think you've almost 90% answered your question, which is a good thing. But let me from the onset say that this whole NADCO report, even the PG of yesterday, it is less and less about the country and more about 2027. That is the truth. This is a political marriage which is not designed to heal the ills in the country, but to just basically create a vehicle for capturing political power and ensuring the re-election of President William Ruto in 2027. If you look at the NADCO report and the 10-point agenda, Sam, I do not see what we are missing in terms of legislation or in terms of process to implement it. But if you look at the things that have happened the last 1 year, actually we have been very steadily been undermining even the very things that were put in the NADCO report. Let me highlight a few. It talks about, the NADCO report talks about promoting and protecting the life of the youth. I think that was agenda number, promoting and protecting the livelihood of the youth. That was number 4. The last 1 year, just like you said, hundreds of youths have been killed on our streets trying to protest peacefully, which was actually the number 6 of this 10-point agenda, the right to peaceful assembly as enshrined in Article 7 of the Constitution. If you look, so all these youths have been killed, many others have been abducted, some are still missing even as we speak.
Right.
Some, if you look at issues around integrity, and there are 2 points around integrity and the fight against corruption in this report, which is number 5 and number 8. And you see what is happening in this country. And you just look at the latest TI report that has even profiled, our president, even at a personal level, and our country. So you can actually see the actions that we've been taking is actually taking us further away from the principles of this NADCO report. Then you look at management of national debt. We started this conversation in earnest 2 years ago, but it has, by and large, died. Right now, we've, I think, mortgaged the sports fund, to build an overly expensive, stadium. If you look at the last point, which was about wastage, point number 9, which was about wastage of public resources. Just look at what is happening with all these empowerment forums going on. Money without accountability, just being dished left, right, and center. You don't need any, even a PP2 certificate to understand that this is stolen money. So it is. You can actually see us moving.
PP2 certificate, Mheshimiwa Wandeto.
If there was one, because I believe our children, when they finish PP2, they get something to move to primary school. My point here is, Sam, we seem to be moving further and further away, even from the very principles that have been agreed in this 10-point agenda. Now, coming to your question, whereby we commit a crime, and now we purport to heal, the same crime. The thief suddenly becomes, the good person and is now the one talking about the reparations of, the stolen goods.
Yeah.
You cannot have the Ministry of Interior, which is the one in charge of police, which is the one, who provides whether, it's commanded decisions or policy decisions. The police go out there.
Yep.
Children are protesting peacefully with handkerchiefs, water, and phones. That is all the weapons that they have. They are brutalized, killed. Hundreds of families are grieving. Some are maimed and in hospitals. And now, the same government purports to come and massage, the wood through, some bit of compensation. Like you have said, first of all, there has been no acknowledgement. There has been no, public apology. We cannot talk about compensation, unless, first of all, we acknowledge, unless, number two, we say, what are we going to do to prevent such future, activities? So I find this whole compensation thing a little bit hypocritical. I find it even now worse that we are going ahead to gather evidence, do public participation. The people who died are known. What we should do is they should bring a legislation to Parliament if it doesn't exist in terms of the amount, because I believe there is a criteria that has to be used. I lost a leg, I lost an eye, I lost a life, right. And then there is a whole compensation structure. But I think this going around is further playing with the emotions of Kenyans.
Okay. I'm looking at, what is this law? It's the Victim Protection Act of 2014 that provides on different ways of compensation, including Section 24 that says the court may award compensation under this act, and such compensation may include financial compensation for expenses incurred as a result of the loss or injury resulting from the offense complained of, which shall be charged from the fund. So there's a Victim Protection Trust Fund that should be established by the government, so that if there are certain offences that are pursued, then compensation will come from here. But basically, the law also provides that there has to be a process to establish who is culpable, did the offence occur, and if someone is found guilty, then there's compensation coming out as an order. Mheshimiwa Mbui, why aren't we able to use the laws available to an extent that we have to go outside the already established offices like KNCHR, the Attorney General's office, the judiciary itself, and establish a separate team through a political appointment of Makau Mutua?
Yeah, thank you, Sam. Sam, first and foremost, when they start compensating, they have to pay me, because in the last regime, they broke my leg. And so it's important that I get my fair share when the payment starts coming out. But some, what we've noticed over time is that the executive is hesitant to implement the law. And the reason is that the executive has constantly wanted to muzzle the voices of the people. And that's the reason why they know that the minute you start the compensation agenda, then it becomes, it will continue for the longest time, and it will be very difficult and very expensive for the executive. I'm saying this because none other than the president himself just recently said that when you see these people, demonstrators, shoot them. Now, if you shoot someone, then obviously it means you have to compensate them. So how would you be the one saying that we want to compensate those that we shoot, and at the same time giving instructions to police to go and shoot? His interior CS also said that any demonstrators should be shot. One of his chairs in the National Assembly said, don't just shoot them, shoot and kill them. So basically, I think, for me, I think the government has constantly been, doesn't want to push that agenda because they know that they are culpable and they know that it will cost the taxpayer a lot of money. But some at the same time, it's also important to note that as Kenyans, we are concerned. That we are turning our lives and our good health into a money-making scheme. Why would you shoot me and pay me? Why would you kill some, a young Gen Z and then compensate the families? The families of these, and I keep saying this because I personally have lost 3 people from my constituency. And I can tell you the parents, even though, yes, they will be comfortable when they get the compensation, but they would rather have had their kin alive than the money that they'll be given. They'll probably get $1 million or whatever amount. But it doesn't, you cannot value life. So it's very unfortunate that, the government deliberately goes and, sets up an agenda to trample on people, kill people, harm people. And they have stated it. I have repeated it here, and I'll repeat it. They have said that you go and maim people. But even though, despite that, they say they want to compensate. So I think, for me, I think they're not being genuine. On the matter of this committee that has been formed, it's a political, it's just a political grouping that has been put together to prepare for the next election, to find a way of hoodwinking Kenyans to believe that now the regime has suddenly changed. They have seen the light and that they are now going to change and do things in a different way. These games, we have seen them. You saw BBI, people went around all over the country, and at the end of the day, it came to nothing. When you keep talking about, NADCO was passed by my party leader, Dr. Kalonzo Musyoka, was a co-chair. And there were about 9 pieces of legislation that came out of the NADCO report. Yeah. Up to today, why haven't they all been implemented? I mean, the Kimani Ichung'wah, who was a co-chair in the NADCO report, is a leader of majority in the National Assembly. And the speaker is also leaning towards the side of government. So why has it been impossible to implement? So this is just a game. You come up with a team, they come up with a report, we know what is ailing the country. Then later on, after you form some conundrum, some mongrel of some sort, where you bring in strange bedfellows together, then suddenly you start a new process again. So it's another NADCO, to deal with the NADCO. So I think, for me, I think this is just a joke. Okay. It's a preparation for 2027. But we are saying that all these games will not stop this regime from serving just one term.
Oh, wow. I see what you did there. So the president said that the ZANU team will be guiding everyone, who will guide the cabinet, the National Assembly, the Senate, constitutional offices on what they need to do. Senator Sigei, what's our problem? Why aren't we able to use the resources available to us? We have to create new ones.
Thank you very much, Sam, and thank you for having me again this morning. I'm happy to be back with my good friends here from both the National Assembly and now, of course, myself from the Senate. Yeah. Now, our problem, just on a one-liner response to you, is the political situation that we have in the country. That is the bottom line. Mm. Because I've listened to the leader of minority, Honorable Mbui, my senior, in Parliament. I've equally listened to my colleague here, Wandeto, saying those two in particular because I've picked a few things which, as long as we appreciate the fact that when we are on this platform, we are speaking to Kenyans. Yeah. We're speaking to Kenyans who are not necessarily politicians, who are not necessarily involved in our everyday political engagements in the two houses. And sometimes it's normally fair to tell Kenyans the truth. Yep. It is not normally sometimes, important. Always. No. As a politician, they would say that I was saying that off the mic. Yep. That's why I'm saying sometimes. I'm very intentional with the use of that term. But of course, it's important to tell Kenyans all the time the truth, especially when you are holding a leadership position. Okay. Honorable Mbui has just told us that we have never implemented any legislation that came out of NADCO. I have come this morning with a document that was part of the conversation that we were having in our joint committee meeting. This is the inception report of the committee that is set up, chaired by Dr. Agnes Zani, right, to implement the Constitution. I have equally come with a 10-point agenda. My colleague, Dr. Masara, has got the one that deals with the 10-point agenda. It's okay, you can hold it. I've equally come with a third document called the Economic Transformation under the Broad-Based Government. Mm. That is 3 years better for better Kenya. Okay. Now, I'll definitely be very happy to leave these documents behind.
So what laws have been enacted apart from the amendment?
I'm headed there. One is the IEBC amendment law. That led to the formation of the commission IEBC that is now already up and running, dealing with the upcoming by-elections. They have already set up dates. We're going to the ballot on the 27th of November on a number of those constituencies, counties, and wards.
So that's one.
No representation.
The other one?
The second one They passed themselves in the National Assembly the draft Constitution of Kenya Amendment Bill. It is now in the Senate. We will be having it for the first reading on the 8th of September when we resume.
The one to introduce
they passed this.
Yes. The Constitution.
Yes, it was one. It was actually number one. There were 9 bills which were proposed. The first one was the draft Constitution of Kenya Amendment Bill 2024. They have passed it. They have communicated it to the Senate. The second one, the IEBC Amendment Bill 2024.
The bill passed is not that
we have done, and the commission have said is in place. The Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission 2024. I probably know they know the status of that bill.
Has it passed?
Yes, it has. The Leader of Opposition Bill 2024.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'll give you the annex.
ESCC bill. What is the name?
The bill is now an act of Parliament, having been passed by the National Assembly on the 11th of December 2024.
What is the name of the act?
The Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission Amendment Bill 2024. This is the bill, that sought to amend the ESCC to provide the position of the chairperson to be a chairperson qualified to hold the office of a judge of the High Court under the Constitution. This is something that has been passed by the National Assembly. And that is why I said, as leaders, we should not politic. That is our biggest problem. These are factual. They are the ones who did that in the National Assembly. And they are lying to Kenyans on camera that nothing has happened. I'll go ahead. The Leader of Opposition Bill 2024, this one has gone through the National Assembly. It has come before us, and a joint committee was set, where this committee now made the recommendation that the office, it actually says it was not clearly provided whether the office would be a public or state office and in which arm the government it will be domiciled. So this one was put on hold, having been considered by the joint committees.
Senator Sige, allow me to take a short break, then I come back and conclude on your line of thought, as also we get into the conversation on is Parliament on trial with the sentiments of President William Ruto and ODM leader Raila Odinga. Stay tuned for that.